Well folks, welcome back to the workshop. Today we have something different for you, or at least something familiar in a different format. This bundle of parts is a Hikoki nail gun. This is a Hikoki First Fix 1890 brushless nail gun. This one was in for repair before and it wasn't worth fixing. It was simply given back to the customer in pieces. He has several of these guns, he could use it for spare parts. Actual driver unit was worn out. It's worn through the end tooth, so it's not taking the pin back anymore now. These things to repair cost around 250 to 300 euro, simply because these pins from Hikoki cost roughly about 100 to 200 euro to buy. Not cheap. If that kind of money, you're well over half the price of the gun. Might be more beneficial to actually replace it. But this video is about an alternative to buying the pin from Hikoki. Hikoki and Metabo are actually the same companies now. That's why the spare parts come marked as Hikoki, Tanada, Metabo HPT. Metabo HPT stands for Hikoki Power Tools. And of course Metabo themselves have their version of this gun as well, which is the exact same gun. So you can buy either one, they're identical. But the pin for the Metabo one, this number here, costs half the price. This here pin costs around 90 euro plus the VAT from Metabo, but it costs double that if you buy it from Hikoki. So this video is going to be about fitting a pin into this bucket of parts and seeing if it'll run again, and seeing if this pin from Metabo is the same for this Hikoki gun, which I'm assuming it is, seeing as it has the exact same Hikoki part number. It just has a stick on Metabo number down here, so you can pay twice the price for Hikoki or half for Metabo. So let's stick it into this gun and see what she runs like, see how hard it is to actually change. Now, not unusual to get guns back like this, especially for the likes of this. These are probably more complicated to rebuild than they are to take apart. So if they're not been fixed, it doesn't pay anybody to actually rebuild it. This is only going to work if all the parts are still here. I'm not even sure if I'd done a video on dismantling this one. Mightn't have posted it at all if it wasn't fixed. Everything looks to be here. It's just everything was stripped apart. I actually think I tried to change the pin inside of here as the actual drive wheel. Let's follow these wee pins that actually grab these teeth. This is what actually drives the piston back up into the compressed air to get it ready to fire again. I actually had broken the last one, which is this big heavy one. Common thing to go, they can wear out and you can replace them, get it firing again. But I think after I tested this one, she still wouldn't work because this final tooth here, it's actually totally worn away, so it was just slipping past it anyway. It would take it back so far, but on the last one it was just slipping and coming back again. So the pin was actually sitting too far forward. If it sits too far forward, it won't allow the next nail up, so it'll just shit but not put out any nails. So that was a no-go. Luckily, someone on here actually gave me a tip to use the Metabo part instead of the Hikoki, as they come on a lot cheaper, so you can thank that person for this. I'll tell you who it was who gave me the tip, but it was a good few weeks ago now and this part only just arrived in. I cannot remember for the life of me who it actually was, but whoever you are, thanks for the tip. We're going to test it out here now. So everything does look to be here, as long as I have enough of these here pins or rollers to go into the rest of this. That's the worn out one there, look. That one's a little bit bigger. And actually eating through the actual roller. It can actually happen. And if they are getting old and you're sort of noticing anything funny about them, it's worthwhile stripping it and changing that wee roller before it does this kind of damage. So I'm going to have to clean this out a little bit before I get this up and running again. But it looks like everything's here. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for there. That's one for actually holding the springs on the back. Need one more. There we go. 8 of them and the wee spring roller. Actually replace them as well, look at the wee bumps. Now there's also a piece of foam that sits inside of here, but that's disintegrated. I'm not going to bother changing that. Might change that bearing. That one's fine. Maybe that one will be alright. First thing, before I do anything, is clean this all down, because this one has done a lot of work. It's a bit grubby looking. So we'll give it a good clean. Get it ready for the new pan. More bits in there. And we'll get this rebuilt and test out this pan. Now, it's a bit cleaner looking. Now, the reason I thought this was going to be a little bit cheaper, because it probably didn't have the same amount of parts. But it actually does have all the parts as the Hikoki. Comes with the pan, seals for it, and the big heavy roller for actually holding it back. This comes with everything the Hikoki gun does. Exact same pin as you can see in this one. You can see how that end tooth is actually snapped off or worn away. So I don't need anything out of this. Everything for this comes along with it. Keep that for the drive wheel. For oiling these, I'm just going to use passload oil for now. I think these actually do use a lithium oil, but this is what I have. The seal is an actual X seal, it's not sided or anything. Twist as you put them on, so make sure you ratify it. And you have two, I think they're fluoride seals then, and actually split. So actually make sure you put the split at opposite ends of the pan, which gives you a good proper seal inside. Now the other thing you do want to check is the bump stop. This rubber boy down in here, that's the actual bump stop. If you fire a nail, so if you're shooting 50s or something, and you're on the soft wood, this is going to go down at high speed and hit the bottom of the gun. So that thing down in there is the actual rubber bump stop for the pin. Whenever it comes down too hard, stops it doing damage to the bottom of the gun. That can perish. And you'll see it actually starting to break away on the top and come away in wee pieces. If it's perished, you have to replace that as well. They can be very expensive. They were over 60 or 70 euro at one stage, but I'm pretty sure the price of that part has actually come down now. So you can actually pick it up for a lot less. But if it's gone, make sure you replace it if you're going to bother replacing the pin. Now before we put the pin in, you can put it in now, but with the teeth in here, you'll not get this reinstalled. To rebuild this first before we put the pin in. Put that to one side. Put that to one side. We'll work on this. Now, Like the DeWalt gun, greasing these things is going to do it no harm. It's actually needed. There actually was a piece of foam inside of here, and that is for you to get it impregnated with grease. Keep this actually running smooth. I don't have the foam. I'm not going to bother ordering on a piece of foam for this, but a heavy grease will actually do the job. This doesn't actually rotate very fast. This is geared down a lot in the gearbox, so the motor's running this at high speed, but it's low speed coming out the other end and high torque. So this literally just turns nice and slowly, one direction and one direction only. So locking this doesn't allow it to turn back again. So she actually turns, it'll grab the pins on the firing pin, the teeth, and it'll run it all the way back until it gets to the last pin, which is this one, which is the big heavy one. That'll actually hold the pin in position. Whenever you pull the trigger again to shoot, this moves forward, releasing the pin and allowing it to fire. So the last one is taking most of the load. So because it isn't turning very fast, a bit of heavy grease in here will actually stay. That's in there. So this longer, narrower one drops in from the top down towards the gear. This actually holds little springs, these boys here. That hooks onto this. Don't forget about your big heavy one then. So you spring down here. You also have a spring on the top. It just locates into this little hole here. And just hinging it round to grab that there pin. On top of that then you have your plastic insert, plastic disc. It's on top. That's actually sitting just above this here pin that holds the springs. This little narrow spot here, that's sitting in there. This actually has a little magnet on it up in here. That's what the Hall effect sensor up in here detects to know when to actually shut down the motor, so this here stops in the right location. So if you ever have the gun and it just keeps on running and running and running, the motor never stopping, open her up, it could be that there magnet missing, or the wee plastic ring itself could be broken. Hold it on. There's a metal pin. Goes through one way. Slide that in there. There's an O-ring on top, just to hold on that pin. And after that, press on this bearing to finish it off. That's her. Now we can go and drop this on here. Stick on the head first actually. Drop that on. C-clip holds it on. That's that. Gearbox, we'll put a wee tiny bit of grease in there. Shear bar goes on top. I don't know if I need to replace that or not. It's not really technically doing anything, but it's also not locking on. Just check that and see. Now with this on, rotate it around. pins are free, then you can go ahead and fit your actual pin itself. Now these are a tight fit, obviously, because we're holding back all the pressure back here, so they don't go on smooth. They give them a good bit of force. Just make sure these split seals aren't snagging as they're going in. But you can feel as you're putting it on, it is a very tight fit. Push that down. Bit of oil inside, a bit of grease in the actual O-ring. And you can fit your rear cover. Just be careful when you're fitting it. Don't nip this O-ring. It's very easy to do. Nip it or break it or damage it, obviously it's not going to be able to hold the pressure back here. You'll be forever regassing this gun. Just get all these bolts started first before tighten them up. These are what's actually holding the gun together. The plastic cover goes on the other side, bolts onto the same top cover. That's only to hold on the plastic cover. This is what's holding on the pressure. Whenever that runs, motor's going to turn this wheel. First thing it's going to meet is the pin. It's going to drive the pin all the way back, and that big heavy roller is going to finish back here. And that's the way the gun will sit, ready to shoot. Whenever you actually plunge it and pull the trigger again, the motor will turn it a little bit, clear this pin, and then it'll fire. So these things are always poised to fire whenever you're not using them. They always finish up, ready to shoot. So that's her ready. Next, just going to deal with the insides. Just drop everything back into here. Motor gearbox is dropping on here. There's two sides to this, two pins up here, one down this side. Single pin faces down. Trigger on there. That should be that bit ready to go. Now I'm going to repressurize this. I'm going to use as the actual regulator from Hikoki. But if you're doing this at home for yourself, you could fashion something together, as long as you actually had this thread, which I'm not sure what size it is. That there thread onto an air fitting. This is one I used for the Milwaukee. There's a hydraulic fitting. if you had something fastened together on an airline fitting with the right thread hollow, you can screw onto this. You can pressurize this up to 6 or 7 bar, and that'll do the same job. But I'm just going to use the actual fitting here, seeing as I have it. Or if you got this all ready to go, you could just take it to somebody who has the fitting to regas this. That's it. All you have to do is just hook this up to the compressor at 8 bar. As long as it's higher pressure, it'll put the correct amount of pressure onto this here tank. That's all it is. It's just a regulator. It's just regulating the amount of pressure get onto this, so you're not putting on too much. And that's it, ready to shoot, pressurized and ready to fire. Now onto here, there's meant to be 2 bumps. I'll put them on. Just put a little bit of grease on there. That'll help hold them in. I'll just keep them in place until you can get this gearbox over them. Now, I hope that's it. These wee brass holders can come out of the housing, but they're just little washers anyway, basically, and they're only for holding on this plastic cover. Don't be too concerned if they do come off. They're not holding back any of the pressure on side. That should hopefully be it. Only one way to find out. Battery in. Power on. Get some nails in her. Now, pin still sticking out completely. The first shot is actually going to drive the pin back in again. So it will not fire anything for the first shot. After that, it'll be poised to fire. Obviously with the pin sticking out, you can't plunge it. So you need to get something that'll push against the probe here and not the pin, so you can plunge it down and pull the trigger. Now, pin's inside, she's ready to shoot. Let's give her a test. It's too wet to go outside, so we'll just use a pallet. Look at that. Get her on full. Nice one. After a year, it's finally fixed. There you have it, folks. If you have one of these Hikoki guns and you wear out your piston, your actual driver, €200 for the Hikoki one, but you can buy the Metabo one for half the price. Does the exact same job, keeps your Hikoki running for longer. When it comes to nail guns, especially roofing guns, gas, battery, air is faster, but you have to take a compressor and an airline with you. Gas guns like pass load, you're out more money on gas, having to keep feeding gas into it. These Hikoki guns or the Metabos are the only guns worth buying. The Milwaukee as well, very good gun, but not so much repairable. These here, whenever things wear out or break, you can buy them no problem and keep the thing running. These here are just a powerhouse that just keeps on running. These things here shoot every single nail every single time. They just don't miss a beat unless there's something wrong inside. Fantastic guns. Compared to DeWalt gun, DeWalt, no service on them, but you're forever replacing parts. Springs wear out, driver, axis, you're constantly having to get the thing repaired. These here just keep running all the time. If you're looking for a nail gun, they're well worth the money. Now that you're able to buy the driver itself for €100, you can get it fixed up, keep it running for fairly cheap. Even this repair, having me do it, including labour and VAT, only costs about €150. A lot cheaper than replacing the gun. And just to show you the difference, that pin I just put in, I'm selling that out at €90 plus the VAT for that there pin. The Hikoki one that I actually have in stock, exact same label, exact same Hitachi part number, just this one doesn't have this here Metabo number. This one that I took on for stock from Hitachi is costing me €145, and there has to be a markup put onto that plus the VAT as well, so that there is nearly twice the price just because it's from Hikoki. Anyway folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Hikoki repair video. If you have one of these here guns, hope that's a wee bit more reassurance that you'll get a lot more time out of these things. Hikoki parts or Hitachi have always been well expensive, but knowing that the Hitachi part is that price, but at least you can get it from Metabo for a lot less. Thanks for watching folks. Give us a wee like and follow at the bottom. If you want to help out the channel, hit that subscribe and share button. Cheers, thanks for watching.